Hello everybody, welcome to Critical Rocket again for part 3 of the 2C pack launch, and we're up to the heavy now, which is the 75-ton Orion 2C. This is a bit of an oddball looking machine, but it's surprisingly effective in the stock loadout. It's got a hell of a profile. Look at that Gauss rifle, just Jesus Christ. That sticks out. That's like a wang, isn't it? Hey ladies. So yeah, again, not made any changes in here. Standard 300. It's got plenty of LRM ammo though. It's got like 4-ton, it's got its SRM4, which I think only needs the one. 2 ER larges, it's LRM 20, which is counted as the arm, it's not the torso, so remember that. If you're going to start messing around with the amount of armour in your left arm, remember that is where your LRMs are going to be if you're running it stock. Gauss rifle comes with 2-ton of ammo, which, yeah, lasts quite a while, it's fine. And yeah, the speed's not too bad. It's about as fast as the Hunchback 2C, but it's got way more armour. In fact, as stock again, the armour is only a mere 2 points down from maximum, so this is actually a very well-rounded machine. Not too hot, very good damage potential, great all-round. So have a look at the gameplay and see for yourself. See you after the jump. Right, so here we are for the Orion 2C. Now, this was actually one of the mechs of the pack that I wasn't really that excited about, and the drop just went flawlessly for me. And I have to attribute it to the Orion 2C perfectly fitting my kind of playstyle. It has been commented in the past that I can sometimes be a little bit static with field positioning, moving around, that kind of thing. It's generally because I try to play more of a supportive role of the assault rather than being at the front, and the Orion 2C for me in the stock configuration feels just like that kind of mech. It's the Gauss rifle, 2 ER larges, the LRM-20 and the SRM-4. It's a really nice spread of weapons, not too dissimilar from the normal Orion. The main sort of physical difference is the fact that the head is offset to the right hand side of the mech rather than being in the centre. This can slightly throw off your aim sometimes with things like the Gauss rifle, because you have to take into account that you're not quite centre of the mech. That said though, it's not a particularly bad design. It's got plenty of sort of weapon loadout options available to you, plenty of hard points that you can use, and yeah, it's got a decent amount of armour, and the speed is exactly the same as the 2C. A Hunchback, so you're not going to be doing a huge amount of distance, but you're going to be getting into the fight relatively quick enough and still be able to do some good damage. I felt that this round was also a good example in the video of how it operates in a hot map, and I've got to say that the Gauss rifle really comes into its own in these situations. One thing I did find interesting, as I mentioned earlier in the quick mech lab bit, was the fact that the LRM-20 that this carries is counted as the left arm rather than the left torso. So again, if you're planning on kind of rebuilding it, take into account that that left arm is going to be carrying your missile slots from one of your biggest missiles. The SRM-4, I'd say, is neither here nor there. It's not like massively important. I imagine a lot of people are going to be stripping that out. I did use it a couple of times in this fight, but only when my heat was very high. Outside of that, Gauss rifle was very good. Ammunition lasted the whole round. LRM-20 has more than enough ammunition to keep going, especially for the amount of damage I was pumping out with the thing. It could do with probably a module that will increase the reload speed, but if you've been playing long enough, you already know all that anyway. If there are any drawbacks, much like the standard Orion, it's a bit boxy and it's easy to hit the side torsos, a bit like the Awesome, a bit like the standard Orion. Yeah, it's probably a jack of all trades as far as heavies go, and as such, it's not really going to scratch the itch of anybody who wants like a pure LRM bow, or person who wants a pure energy bow or that kind of thing. But it does work the sort of all-rounder build very well. It looks really nice as well. I was kind of surprised how good it looked in game. I just wasn't very sort of excited by this mech, but after running it, it's probably going to be one of my favourite clan heavies to run. Obviously, with the ability to customise it with the same level of inner sphere customization as well, that also helps go a long way to making it much more flexible on the field. I think this is going to become a popular 75-tonner for a few people in things like community warfare. And yeah, it's always nice to have another Gauss carrier on the field. I'd say this would become quite popular. The heavies are already popular in MWO, and this is just going to be another sort of layer on top of that, basically. as far as stock configuration goes, it's perfectly viable. Though, you know, you probably make easy tweaks to it. Large lasers are a bit hot, especially at least on a map like Caustic Valley like this was, but I did find that my heat was shooting up very quickly firing them and the LRM-20. One after the other, you get spikes very quickly, which can be a bit of a detriment to it. The stock heat sinks that come with it just really aren't that good, or they just aren't enough to handle the amount of heat you're throwing out. It could be viable to drop down to an LRM-15 for a slightly higher fire rate and a little bit more ammo that you can pump out of it, but yeah, I'm going to be happy running it like this. Field of view is quite nice with the cockpit. Didn't really feel like it was being disadvantaged in any major way by the stock loadout. Physically, it didn't seem to get stuck on anything. It wasn't like the Mauler on Viridian Bog. So yeah, this is actually probably my favourite of the four. Where the Jenner and the Hunchback kind of, they have potential, but they both kind of let me down from the off. This was for filming, this was the first round I did in the 2C, and it was a blinder. I just absolutely fucking caned it. I was really happy with this one, and yeah, my favourite map as well, even better. So yeah, glowing review for this one, guys. If you're gonna buy one, I would recommend the Orion 2C so far. Although you haven't seen the Highlander 2C video, so maybe check that out after this. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, 2C Orion is pretty fucking cool. So do it. So yeah, Critical Rocket signing out.